I'm truly excited about today's video, sharing with you some of the secrets that I learned in my nearly 40-year journey, where I went from unemployed over a year to now having a 15-year career, 15-year investing, going from unemployed over a year facing deportation to now being in the best place that I've ever been in my life, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, financially, and all across the board, which includes physically as well. I just came back from the gym and I just was thinking about what is one skill that has truly changed my life. And that has to be to learn how to learn. One of my favorite quotes is by Mark Twain, which is never let your schooling interfere with your education. I know that with 20 years of schooling, going through bachelor's, master's, graduate degrees, and even going for a PhD, has pushed me into thinking that I knew. And as Shakespeare, Aristotle have said in the past, the more I know, the more I realize I don't know. And that is the biggest mistake. Number one, that we make throughout our journey is to think that we know, to think that we've arrived to absolute truths, and to make everything that we see out there as a confirmation of this rumor, this lie that we've told about the world, about ourselves, about what we're capable of, but also our skill sets and tool sets. Instead of thinking in terms of resourcefulness, we start thinking in terms of resources. Instead of thinking about ways of how and why we should do something, we start thinking in terms of the what. If you really want to break through with learning how to learn, you have to reframe your mindset about what your situation is and what you know. That's where it all starts. Emptying your mind, as Bruce Lee says. Emptying your mind and be like water. Learn the different disciplines. You may be in a specific field right now, but a great book about Steve Jobs and the innovations that he has brought and with secrets, the innovation secrets of Steve Jobs is the name of the book. His ability to draw experiences from all various fields, whether it's from calligraphy, whether it's from the music industry, the movie industry, and being able to transcend those barriers and mentally allow himself to understand those various experiences, whether his level of understanding was amateur like or more advanced, to allow himself to explore is essential to learning how to learn. You may be in finance, you may be in retail, you may be in fashion, you may be in sports, but venture away from your discipline. Watch people who may not necessarily do what you do and see the ways where you can use that to draw upon that to be more creative, to see ways to improve your mindset, to see ways to imagine solutions, to see ways to get better. As Kobe once said, he watches Taylor Swift and sees ways how he can use what she's done to improve his craft. One of the things that has truly changed my life, for instance, was one Saturday afternoon where I met one of my friends, a new friend that I met at the gym. On paper, he was just a guy coming up. And then if you listen to what everybody is saying, you would say, you don't have time to meet people who don't have more money than you, who don't have more experiences than you. But meeting him that Saturday afternoon and talking to him about life, about goals, about just random things that were not necessarily related to what I was committed in with my investments, with my business, with my particular life goals, actually allowed me to disconnect with that limited scope that I put myself in and to expand. You can learn from Netflix, you can learn from social media, you can learn from any single thing in your life. One of the wisest men in history, King Solomon, is someone who drew his wisdom from everyday things. Learning is through every discipline. Learning is through every moment and every instances of your life. Allow yourself to have that student mindset, which leads to my next point. Dare to be a beginner. The biggest mistake that we make in learning how to learn is to allow our ego to drive our decisions. Whenever you're scared of what people are going to think, whenever you fear being embarrassed, whenever you fear failure, remember that it is your ego trying to distract you. And almost anticipate that to come, because that voice would always be there. One of the things that has worked for me is anytime that I have a fear that says, dude, people are going to make fun of you, etc., etc., I laugh at it. I'm like, oh, here you are. I knew you would be coming here. And I literally view that thought and that voice as almost someone, a friend, a buddy that I know is going to try to make me do something that I don't want to do. And that is the ability that you have to develop in order to learn how to learn. It is emotional intelligence and mindfulness. If you have the ability to observe your thoughts and gain awareness with yourself away from the pressures of the world, and to understand your being and the different facets of your personality, you will be able to not only accept yourself, but turn every single thought, emotions into the superpowers that they can be, because you're able to integrate them, channel them, and reframe them within the system and culture that you want. One of my favorite ways to put it is you are the CEO and owner of your life, and it is on you to develop the dynamic systems and cultures continuously and consistently throughout your whole life, consistently growing, consistently pushing the envelope, innovating, getting uncomfortable, and developing that ability to always reframe. For instance, I remember listening to this podcast that says, if it's raining, good. If something happens that I did not expect, good. If today I don't feel good, good. All of those things can be reframed into a good thing, an opportunity to build character, an opportunity for you to find a new solution, an opportunity for you to disconnect, an opportunity for you to be in the moment. You are always on the right path. That is an important mindset shift that you need to make. It's easy for us to think that we're failing, that we are making steps, that we're taking steps backwards. Change your mindset to always believe that you are on the right path. As Friedrich Nietzsche once talked about with his concept of amor fati, believe in your destiny. Amor fati means love of one's fate. Believe that every single thing that happens in your life is an opportunity to learn. Believe that every single thing in your life has an infinity stone for you to draw upon. And it is on you to open your eyes and let it guide you through your adventure. Which leads to my next point, which is commit and let go. It's so easy for us to apply our biases to every single thing that we do. But if we want to learn, we got to commit to the process of exploration, discovery, and allowing the experiences to take us to new realizations, to mistakes, to trial and errors, to doing things that we've never done before. Letting go of controlling the outcome and controlling all the inputs is essential to you truly breaking through those barriers. A great book that I've mentioned before is a book by Benjamin Hardy and Daniel Sullivan called 10x is easier than 2x. If you really want to have 10x results in your life, You have to be able to break away from the 80% that's slowing you down and focus in on the 20% that is your unique ability, which is your ability to go out there and elevate your vision so high above what you've done before, where you almost force yourself to learn something that you've never learned before. The CEO of NVIDIA, which is a great artificial intelligence company, if you don't know, that has changed the game in terms of AI, talked about how in his rise in building his company, he had to set a goal so high that it would make it difficult for him to learn it from one day to the next. Elevate your vision so high that your journey of learning truly moves you and literally scares you. The ability to put yourself under that pressure is actually a great thing, because when you put yourself in that situation, you tap into a part of your self that literally becomes its best. You push yourself, your survival instinct, to show up and show out. It may not be like that the very first time, but when you commit to that process and through the repetition again and again, or what they call an iteration, focused into the doing, into the being in that moment, you will develop the ability to get uncomfortable. David Goggins is one that has talked about this concept so much, about his ability to go out there and put himself in that situation so many different times that his mind has no choice. And this is what you do now. For me, when I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning, it first sounded crazy, but now it is on autopilot. I do it anytime, any day, every single day. The same way pressing record is now becoming a habit. Use your mind as a tool. Use your mind as the superpower that it can be. Develop yourself, body, mind, and soul as one, so that everything that you do becomes a lesson, that there's no such thing as failure. Do not believe people who tell you that the world is an absolute truth. Because as you embark on this journey of learning, you're not only going to surprise yourself by your capacity to learn, but you're going to surprise yourself as to the amount of opportunities and abundance you have right within your reach. As Plato says, he who neglects his education walks lame for the rest of his life. But he also says that if you want to find out, that you should not force a child to learn, but direct them to what amuses their minds, so that you can discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. If you want to find your genius, you have to allow yourself to just get into the moment and have fun with it. Have fun with it. When I'm in the gym, I go out there and and try different exercises. When I go out there and look at investments, I go out there and allow my curiosity to drive me towards looking at particular opportunities that I never thought I would be looking at before. I allow myself to go on YouTube and watch videos that I would never usually listen to before. All those things then combine together into becoming the most creative self, the most courageous self, the most giving self that I've ever been. Learning will not only change your riches, your wealth, your health, purpose, but your self-love. Because as the great Carl Jung explored, you can only truly be one with yourself when you have explored the different sides of you, from your social mask, to your persona, to your dark side, or what he calls the shadow, but also the self. All those different dimensions of you are part of you, and you will never be able to truly be the best you can be, as aligned and fulfilled as you can be, if you do not dare to learn about yourself. Learn about yourself, learn about others, learn about the world, and make your life about education. Never let your schooling interfere with your education. As always, wherever you are, wherever you come from, you're destined for greatness. Get busy living, not busy dying. Love.